How has LTL treated you?
Fantastic. Yeah, I had a great experience at LTL. Like I'm on a break from LTL right now. My program finished up and things have picked up and gotten really busy at the club. So I'm currently not studying at the school, but I had a fantastic experience. I did the one-on-one classes. I did a one-on-one program that was 3 days a week, 2 hours a day, 120-hour program. I was with teacher Ariel. Shout out teacher Ariel. She's awesome. And I really, really enjoyed the experience. Yeah, I had a fantastic time. Like I said, I think I already kind of touched on the key thing that drew me to LTL was the flexibility, the ability to handle your own schedule, to create your classes when it makes sense for you. Like outside of, like I guess retaining your own private tutor, it's the only way to have that kind of flexibility. Like there's not any other programs that really offer such a customizable level of flexibility.
That's what LTL really focuses on, where it's like, because everyone is quite busy, it's hard to maintain like 2, 3, 4 lives of working or either studying or working and then learning Chinese. And like we all know, learning Chinese is it's not something that you can just do 2 hours a week and expect to be fluent in 6 months.
Right.
So that's one thing that puts me off from learning Chinese, is just because I don't have time for it, just because I'm doing so many different things. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the things LTL focuses on, to customize it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Obviously, some things are very rigid, where you have to learn these words, or this is how the grammar works. But apart from that, like LTL makes it quite flexible.
I never even felt any of that kind of constraint. Like from early on, like I kind of explained to my teacher that like I'm not focusing on reading and writing right now. My goals are speaking based, because again, like as a live performer, my goal is to be able to transition and move into live performance in Chinese.
Right.
And for that, like I really want to practice and work on my speaking. And so, my teacher was able to customize my language. So I was learning using pinyin instead of learning the characters and things like that. Yeah. Which, I mean, for some students, it's going to be, I do think if you learn the reading and writing early, that's a great foundation. That's a great way to start if you have that long view and that time. But for me, like I kind of need to focus on speaking to get my speaking up as quickly as possible, and LTL provided that for me, and that was great. That's what I mean about the customizability of it, and honestly, there's I really appreciated that the school really treats you like an adult. Like I was very clear from the beginning with my teacher that I was like, hey, I'm not gonna be studying outside of class, it's not like I'm not. If I come into class and I don't remember the words, it wasn't because I didn't do my homework. It's because I was doing my job. I was doing my work and stuff like that.
I was making sure that I was paying for these.
Exactly.
classes.
I was making sure I had the money to pay for these classes. It's, I promise you, so just I want that so I set that expectation very early on. It's like, listen, the reason I'm taking these classes 3 times a week, this is where I'm getting my reinforcement. This is where I'm getting my practice time too. So I'll certainly try to practice speaking outside of class, but I'm not sitting down with note cards and things like that. I've got to go to work and do the other things. So that was good. I think there was a good understanding of that, and obviously, the more time you have for review and stuff like that, the faster you're going to get better. So that's another aspect of what that customizability, which I really liked at LTL.
Right. And did you make some friends and stuff there?
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of the folks have come back and come over to shows at 2-3 Comedy. I think it was great.
Sure, yeah.
I love that you guys arranged so many social events and activities. I joined, I think, for a couple dinners during World Cup, had a few beers and watched some of the games and stuff like that.
Yeah, we went to the Rotel once, remember?
Yeah, it was very fun. I had a great time there. It was really, really nice. And all the other students were there. And I do think there's a great sense of community at the school. And, I wouldn't say I was fully engaged with it. A lot of the students were younger and maybe having their first time in Taiwan. Whereas just another thing is a lot of my nights are just taken up at 2-3. I own a nightclub bar, so it's a lot of time. That's when I have a night off, I'm less likely to want to go out. It's like that's
like going out is your default.
Yeah, tonight is my night off, and I'm gonna be cooking pasta here at home. I was out last night. I'm gonna be at the club Friday and Saturday night. So it's gonna stay busy. Yeah.
How much do you think your Chinese changed before LTL and after LTL?
Oh, I mean day and night. I've lived in Taiwan almost 10 years, and I had reached whatever that level of you can get by day-to-day fluency, asking for the simple things you need to know to get through a day, and maybe a little bit better at some restaurants and bars from having spent time there. But LTL, to the point now where I can I can engage and reply, and and like I used to have a joke on stage that I still do sometimes, but about like the learning Chinese, like when you start learning Chinese, it's the worst thing you can do, because you speak enough Chinese to ask questions and then not understand the answer. So you just waste people's time with this Chinese. You like ask them and they answer in your Chinese. You're like ting gu dong. They're like, why did you start in Chinese? Just speak English, save us time. So my listening has gotten to the point where I can engage in longer conversations. I can understand things, and like get lots of compliments on my Chinese, which of course is the easiest thing to do in Taiwan. People are so nice here.
Say ni hao, I'm like, oh, how do you say that?
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. So no, I mean night and day. I mean, just Tuesday night, I performed a 3-minute stand-up set in Chinese at the club.
Way, all
yeah,
Chinese.
Yeah, which would, and I mean, I made some mistakes, and it wasn't the smoothest set, but it would not have been possible before studying at LTL for sure. It's night and day. Yeah.
So like, is that your goal for learning Chinese long term, that you want to perform in Mandarin?
Well, one of the main things about committing to opening this bar and committing myself to stand up in Taiwan here is I'm APRC. I look at my house. I got 2 cats running around. Like I'm here, and so I look at Chinese as a long term. That's part. I want to become passably fluent in Chinese because I want to remain here in Taiwan. So
right. Oh, that makes